Hi guys, this is DJ Slope from Slope's Game Room, and today we're going to be looking at Disney's 9th animated classic, Fun and Fancy Free. The very last time that Walt Disney voiced Mickey Mouse. First shown on September 27th, 1947.
So, here we go again. So far you've had Saludos Amigos, The Three Caballeros and Make My Music, and now for Disney's 4th collaboration packaged movie, we have this. Fun and Fancy Free. But what's different about this one is the fact that you don't have 7 or 8 segments all smashed in together, you've got 2. And thankfully for this segment, there is a game related to it. But let me get to the review first. Now you may be thinking, just like I was, that you don't know this film. Like I said, I was in the exact same position. That was until I saw what the shorts actually were. First off, you got Bongo, and as you may have guessed, it's a short about a bear named Bongo, and is based on the book by Sinclair Lewis. It starts with our bear dreaming of living free, but he's actually badly treated, and in captivity. God damn it, Disney did not hold back in the 1940s. Well, eventually Bongo breaks free and realises that living in the wild isn't all it's cracked up to be. You know, typical, the grass isn't always greener. He does, however, end up meeting a female bear, falls in love, and ends up having a rival with her ex-boyfriend. Now, obviously due to Bongo being in isolation for the first half of his life, he's no match for this other bear. Poor old Bongo. He then decides to win her back using the wit that he learnt in the circus. He wins back the bear using all of his trickery, and that's the end. I'm not sure why I remember this particular segment. I think I maybe have watched it at school just before an Easter break or something. It's pretty good. Definitely one of the better shorts in all of these packaged films. Fully worth your time. But what's better than that short is the second short, Mickey and the Beanstalk. Now, don't know about you, but I definitely had this one on its own on VHS. Good old Disney making their money. It was brilliant. It's the obvious story of Jack and the Beanstalk retold by Disney, but instead you've got Mickey, Donald and Goofy at the forefront. And it is the best version of this story ever made. Move over Jack the Giant Slayer, you got nothing on this. So you got Mickey being the naive leader of the group, Jack basically, Goofy being plain old Goofy, and Donald going off the handle better than he's probably ever done in any other short. The short also introduces the fantastic Willie the Giant, who's typical good Disney material. There's not much else to say because you know the story of Jack and the Beanstalk already, so I'm not going to bore you with the details. All I'm going to say is you definitely need to watch this. It's a short that deserves a lot more attention. Now, like I said, as this is one of those Disney package films, I wasn't actually expecting to find a game related to it, but in fact I did. Sort of. So it's time to sit back and relax and look at the video games related to Fun and Fancy Free.
So like I said, we do actually have a couple, yes that's right, 2 games that reference Disney's 4th packaged movie. Surprising, I know. What's even more surprising is that the game came out on the Mega Drive and SNES. That was before it was ported to literally everything. I even recently completed it on the PS Vita as part of my 52 and 53 game challenge. And it's one of my favourite platformers of all time. Worked out what the first one is yet? Drums please. It's Mickey Mania. Or at least one of the levels. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit more about the history of Mickey Mania. So, Mickey Mania was actually originally planned to be released during Mickey Mouse's 65th birthday. However, if this was released on time, the game would have had only 6 months in development. And let's be honest, we don't want a repeat of Mickey's Ultimate Challenge, or the Mega Drive version of Fantasia. Anyway, although the idea behind Mickey's 65th birthday release date sounds great on paper, they decided to put a bit more effort into the game and release it 1 year later at the end of 1994, which thankfully helped it make its way under my Christmas tree that very year. As soon as you boot up the game, you get the title screen and you see some awesome animations, typical Silly Symphony style black circle transitions and great music. The game was and still is seriously cool and probably the best homage to classic Disney and Mickey Mouse. Until Epic Mickey was released in 2010, and in my opinion trumps that game in almost every way. One of the reasons that the game looks as good as it does is because the animation, or at least some of the animation, was actually done by some of the original Disney artists of the time, and it was the first game that David Jaffe of Twisted Metal and God of War fame worked on. The game finds our star Mickey Mouse travelling through the best of his timeless history to save all of the Mickeys of that particular short and generation. The first level sets up the game brilliantly. It's based on Steamboat Willie. If you don't know, Steamboat Willie was the first ever cartoon produced by Walt Disney to star Mickey Mouse and his girlfriend Minnie, and is nowadays used as Disney's animation studio's startup animation. Actually, that's wrong. Mickey and Minnie both starred originally in a short called Plain Crazy several months before at a screening held by Mr. Disney, and Steamboat Willie was in fact the third Mickey Mouse cartoon produced by the studio. Anyway, I'm going off track. For me, just like everyone else for a very long time, I thought that Steamboat Willie was the first, so Slope's Game Room forgives you. Anyway, back to the game. So, like I said, the first level is based on this short, and as you would expect, it's in black and white. You got the movie strip effect here, complete with grainy old school flickers, and as you're in full colour, it really helps the level set the tone for what's going on and what's coming ahead. As the level progresses, you see several references to the original short and even see the classic Steamboat Willie Mickey in one of his most iconic poses. As the level progresses, colour slowly starts to fill the world almost unnoticeably until you defeat the mechanical boss and save the day. Each level is set up pretty much perfectly when you put against the original shorts, and the one that we're going to be looking at most for this video is obviously based on Mickey and the Beanstalk. Now, this game has had a lot of name changes and variations over the several consoles it's been released on. Firstly, on the USA version of the box, the game is called Mickey Mania, The Timeless Adventures of Mickey Mouse, where here in the UK on the box it's just called Mickey Mania. And on the PS1, it's called Mickey's Wild Adventure. This is the version we're going to be looking at today. Ah, doesn't that send chills down your spine? The theme from my teenage years.
Mickey and the Beanstalk.
So the PlayStation 1 has slightly done better graphics with extra sprite work, a bit of extra voice acting makes this version of the game, and although I do prefer certain parts of the Mega Drive and SNES version, you can't deny that the PlayStation version overall is a lot better. Anyway, the Mickey and Beanstalk level, just like all the levels before it, does the original short proud. It's mainly done on basic platforming as you would expect, but it's really enjoyable. One of the more memorable sections is when you get to the top, you actually find yourself on Willie the Giant's dinner table. The reason we're checking this version out over the others is that it includes one section only found in this version. And here it is. Who knows why they dropped this, as a similar section at the end of the Moose Hunt level is found on both versions. Also, this section of the game really does remind me of the Simba chase sequence in the Lion King video game. Seriously looking forward to covering that one. It's also worth noting that the Wii game Epic Mickey had a short section where you go into the poster for Mickey and the Beanstalk and make your way up the beanstalk. It's a very small part of the game, and unless you suck at video games, you can probably get to the top in about 60 seconds. Still, I suppose it's worth mentioning. And that's it! Sure, there isn't much to cover in the games section of Fun and Fancy Free, but what is available just happens to be one of the best games of its genre. And you know what else? Even with its flaws, Epic Mickey and its sequel are also both worth your time. Especially if you have the awesome custom controllers. Hey guys, thanks for watching my review on Fun and Fancy Free. If you like what you saw, then please favourite, rate, comment and subscribe. If you want to see the last video or the next one, click here. And hopefully I'll see you all next time.